CDC moments ago updating its testing guidance after a positive COVID test, recommending an antigen test after a 5-day isolation period if you've been fever-free for 24 hours. We'll go over that again in a bit. But administration critics say that's fine if you can get a test, find a test, or can afford to wait in long lines. The announcement comes after President Biden said Americans should be concerned but not alarmed with the rise in COVID cases. His remarks today coming after the U.S. became the first country in the world to record 1 million new cases in a single day, nearly doubling the previous record set less than a week ago. The president also saying the federal government is adding new test sites around the country each day after pledging to send out 500 million free tests last month, a promise that has made little to no progress as some schools revert back to virtual learning. White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich starts us off live from the North Lawn. Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening to you, Brett. Well, after public pushback, the CDC now says people should use a rapid test after a positive COVID case after 5 days of isolation, if you can get one and if you want to. And if you test positive, you should keep isolating until day 10. It is another shift in policy after setting a new single-day record for COVID infections here in the U.S. 1 million new infections yesterday. Today, President Biden focused much of his messaging on one group.
So there's no excuse for anyone being unvaccinated. This continues to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated. So we got to make more progress.
With the Omicron variant evading vaccine protection more than any strain before, there's also a new White House emphasis on therapeutics. The administration doubling its order for Pfizer antiviral pills, with 4 million COVID treatments expected to be on hand by the end of the month.
We may need even more. That's the estimate we need right now.
But challenges persist with testing. The White House touting efforts to set up federal testing sites as frustration builds around over-the-counter test scarcity and the delivery of 500 million tests the administration promised still in the works.
We are finalizing the contracts. Well, I expect we can share additional details with all of you soon, and certainly we hope to do that.
Availability of tests is also complicating the administration's vaccine or test mandates.
Obviously, getting vaccinated, they're free across the country, available across the country.
The White House still expects the mandates to be upheld as challenges go before the Supreme Court this week, following a blow from a federal judge who sided with Navy SEALs' request for religious exemption, writing, "There's no military exclusion from our Constitution." Right now, the government's definition of fully vaccinated does not include a booster shot, despite a months-long campaign to promote them, prompting questions about what challenges a change might present.
Would revising the guidance cause some sort of logistical or political or economic consequence that the White House isn't ready to embrace, something like, not being able to go to restaurants, people go to offices?
We have boosters available for every American. They can get boosted now, regardless of what the CDC guidance is.
Also tonight, over-the-counter tests, if you can get your hands on one, are soon going to cost you more. Walmart and Kroger are raising their prices for Binax rapid tests after their pricing deal with the White House expired. However, as soon as next week, you should be able to get reimbursed for those tests through your insurance company with new administration rules going into effect, Brett.
So just to be clear, they're revising the quarantine guidance to include this testing component after what? Public pressure? What's the change?
Yeah, there was a lot of public pressure after the CDC reduced its recommended quarantine time after a positive case from 10 days to 5 days and did not include any recommendation to conduct a test. Now they say if you have access to a test and if you want to test, the best one to use is a rapid test. They also say only to do that test if you're fever-free for 20